In this segment of the Ellis Market Report and Money Talk Radio, we speak with Roger Rosmus, the CEO of Goliath Resources, trading as GOT on the TSX Venture Exchange, and in the U.S. on the OTCQB as GOTRF. Goliath Resources is a junior resource exploration company of precious metal projects in the prolific Golden Triangle and northwestern areas of British Columbia. The company is on track with a new discovery of a large, high-grade gold system at its Golddigger property that was never drilled before in the Golden Triangle of B.C. It remains open. The Surebet discovery was never explored or drilled before due to a previous glacier and permanent snowpack covering it. The project is located in a world-class geological setting and mining-friendly jurisdiction. The Golddigger property sits on tidewater and has excellent infrastructure with a permitted mill site in Kitsault nearby. Significant shareholders include Crescat Capital, Eric Sprott, Rob McEwen, and a global commodity group based in Singapore. The newly discovered Surebet is a very robust and structurally controlled series of 10 high-grade gold veins, shears, with superior continuity and predictability hosted within the Hazelton sediments and volcanics over a 1.8 square kilometer area. It has 2.1 kilometers of exposed mineralization at surface. Mr. Rosmus has over 25 years of investment banking experience in the public and private sector. He has acted as lead on over 30 M&A transactions, and through his previously owned exempt market dealer firm, completed many financings. I recently caught up with Roger at the Metals Investor Forum in Toronto, Canada. Roger, welcome to the program. It's great to visit with you here in Toronto in person.
Thank you, Ellis. Wish the weather was a little warmer for us here, but we made it in. Our luggage arrived, and we're ready for PDAC, ready to roll for another year.
I'm real excited about the traction we've been getting lately with GOT, with Goliath, and it's an exciting story in British Columbia. What's happened since we spoke a couple of weeks ago?
Well, we were able to get the balance of our assays out. Essentially, we announced that last week. Not surprisingly, we had a 100% hit rate, every hole hit, which is pretty incredible. A big statement because typically in a vein type system, you don't hit on every hole. But the fact is we have 12 stacked veins vertically for 1.2 kilometers, sitting with an area of 1.8 square kilometers. So clearly a very large system. Some should look at the Pogo mine, actually. Very similar, same topography, stacked veins, high grade gold. That deposit, actually, the Pogo is about 10 million ounces. And I think they produce over 4.6. And then as well, which is very important, is the fact that our reduced intrusive related gold, that we're seeing type of mineralization in the dikes that run sort of north-south across the veins. We're seeing, grades over kind of 10 grams, 10 meters type of thing. So as they say, with every finger, there's a hand and an arm and a body. So we do think that the reduced intrusive is playing a big part of, let's call it the mother lode, that provided all this mineralization that we're seeing currently up in the sedimentary group. So I guess kind of simplify that. Think of the Pogo mine sitting on top of a kind of like a snowline gold, where you get a reduced intrusive. However, we're seeing our grades are, again, we're getting like 6 grams, 10 grams type of material, so a higher grade type of reduced intrusive. But will the body of that be high grade? We don't know until we drill into it.
Well, certainly Snowline has done a great job with exploration and development in the Yukon in kind of a difficult terrain. It's not exactly easy to get to that project, but they've done very, very well. The infrastructure in British Columbia is actually better than it is in the Yukon. I'm not besmirching the Yukon. I just think it's just better. So you've got high hopes with the results that have come out, and more to come. We have more to see. Really, as far as I'm concerned, you're the story in British Columbia.
When one company succeeds, everyone else succeeds around, and we're doing a good job. I think obviously the geology is pretty amazing, and we got lucky essentially and won the lottery ticket for the shareholders, which is great.
Well, I'm sure the shareholders, at least those that have come in during the last few months, are very, very happy. You've had the company for quite a few years, and you've landed on something very, very solid right now. So what's the next step as we wind up the winter and head into the spring?
Essentially now we have all our data out. So all the 2024 season, those holes have been released. So we're now able to update the model to plan for our 2025 drill program. And then just going back on your comment about infrastructure and getting to the site, we can actually drive to the town that we occupy for the summer. And we're not building tents. It's not building a camp on the side of a mountain. We can actually drive to Kitsault, which has high tension power projects. It's on tidewater. To the site would be about 25 kilometers to high tension power as well. The bonus of sitting on tidewater is you could barge access your material anywhere around the world down to Prince Rupert. We got rail across Canada. You've got a deep sea port. Or there's the old mine site at Kitsault. The mill's gone. gone now. That was a moly mine back in the early 80s. That could potentially be used to process material, crush it on site, and then ship it by barge down to Kitsault. Would be probably the most cost effective and I would think the quickest way to put this into production.
So there's a high likelihood that you will be, in fact, a producer. We discussed this last interview we did.
In my mind, yes. I truly believe this will be a mine one day. Will it be us operating? Probably low probability because we're not mine builders. We're project generators.
Roger, it's great catching up with you, and always seeing you in person is a big thrill for me. Thank you so much for joining me on the program today.
Yeah, thanks, Ellis. Appreciate it.
I've been speaking with Roger Rosmus, the CEO of Goliath Resources, trading as GOT on the TSX Venture Exchange and in the U.S. on the OTCQB as GOTRF. Go to the company's website, GoliathResourcesLTD.com. For Money Talk Radio, I'm Ellis Martin. Get a free subscription to the Ellis Martin Report. Go to ellis.gold.